Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, this is a huge week in terms of NFL draft content because this week is the official NFL Combine in Indianapolis. And obviously, we know the rumors are going to start flowing once the Combine comes and goes. Obviously, the Chicago Bears hold the #1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And I guarantee you, when they go to the NFL Combine, conversations are going to be had about the #1 overall pick and what the Chicago Bears and what Ryan Poles' intentions are with that top spot in the NFL Draft. And according to Adam Schefter, he confirmed the Chicago Bears are getting multiple offers for the #1 overall pick. Adam Schefter says this in a recent tweet. Sources: the Bears already have been approached by multiple teams about trading the draft's #1 overall pick, and Chicago is said to be leaning toward moving the pick, so the #1 pick now looks like it's for sale. This is obviously a developing story. This is not breaking news because we knew that this is the route that the Chicago Bears were most likely going to lean towards. But things are going to start heating up, right? Just like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, the NFL Combine is the first major stepping stone in order for the Chicago Bears to actually trade a #1 overall pick, to actually gain a market for the #1 overall pick. So this is not breaking news, but it's obviously developing news. And this is a route that we all thought that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears would consider, because we all realized that trading down would be the best for the Chicago Bears rebuild and to combine assets to help build around Justin Fields. Field Yates also mentioned this in a tweet. The Bears are in a unique spot because there is a credible case right now for several teams in the top 10 to consider a jump, large or small, up the board for a QB. He mentions the Texans at 2, the Colts at 4, the Raiders at 7, the Falcons at 8, the Panthers at 9. Like I just mentioned earlier in the podcast, during the NFL Combine, I can guarantee you that conversations are going to be had about the #1 overall pick. At this point, it's going to be up to Ryan Poles. Who will deliver the best offer to move up and to try to snatch that #1 overall pick from the Chicago Bears? And at the end of the day, I have full trust in Ryan Poles to make the best decision for the Chicago Bears and to be able to gain an absolute haul for one of these teams that Field Yates mentioned in his recent tweet. There's also a lot of sources and a lot of rumors going around saying that the Chicago Bears are going to meet with every single top QB draft prospect in this year's draft, basically creating a little bit more intrigue, trying to gain more capital for that #1 overall pick, making all those other QB needy teams kind of nervous, making them second guess themselves, right? And making sure that we can get the most out of that #1 overall pick. So I also think that is interesting as well. At the end of the day, I'm excited for the NFL Combine. There's going to be a whole lot of talent there. I'm trying to make a name for themselves, but this is also going to be a huge developing story as we get closer to the NFL Draft. This is only the first major plateau for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to actually trade a #1 overall pick. But as the draft gets closer, as the NFL Combine comes and goes, as the pro days come and go, I can guarantee you that there's going to be more developing news about what the Chicago Bears will do with the #1 overall pick. And I'll make sure to be right here first for you guys on Keek on the Mic to deliver every single breaking or developing story on the Chicago Bears and what they plan to do with the #1 overall pick. So make sure you continue to smash that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it,